Hello, this is Todd Summers, Director of Research and Development for SoftWrite. In today's video, I'll be presenting what is new in TAP version 7.4, which is being released in June of 2020. There's a couple of minor items and then a couple of other more major items. We'll start with the more minor items. First off is the computer migration tool. So if you go and open TAP, go to Tools, under the Backstage, go to Backup or Restore. You'll click here, click the Backup or Restore button. You notice there's two options. First option is a backup. This is a way of archiving your databases within TAP. Click this to designate which databases you want to back up. And then you click the Restore button to restore those databases off of a file you've generated using the backup function. So Backup and Restore will facilitate migration and archiving for users. The second thing is the ability to select a facility location from a map. This is an enhancement to the path map view. So if we go back to TAP, click on a path study, click to the path map view, you'll notice here under site information there's now a map button next to latitude and longitude. If I edit to the facility, I can click the map button, and then you can select a different spot in order to relocate your facility. So if you have, say, an imagery type base map, you can relocate your facility. If you want to exit this mode, you can keep clicking around. When you're ready to exit the mode, you click the map button again, and then you can do the lookup for this facility location, and it'll reload the elevation. This is available in path on both sides for fixed facility transmit and receive. You see it's over here as well. Also available in coverage and also in the fixed facility manager as well. You'll notice up here you also have other enhancements to this map view. You can see the transmitter distance and azimuth have been added, and receiver distance and azimuth have been added up here. So you can move around. Those will be updated as well. The next enhancement, which is one of the significant ones, is the addition of parallel processing for coverage studies. Prior to TAP 7.4, so release 7.3 and earlier, TAP only ran single-threaded, so a single processor. And this was the optimal way to run things when you had rotating media, like hard drives, rotating hard drives, for instance, for storage of your topo data and land cover data. Now, with the evolution of more advanced hardware as well as solid-state drives, parallel processing provides us the chance to do multi-threading and gives us an improvement in our benchmarking runs of about 2 to 4 times speed up relative to running single-threaded. As of now, in TAP 7.4, this is available for tile studies of 10,000 or more points. In future releases of TAP, we'll also be expanding to other coverage study types and intermod studies as well. So to activate that, go back to TAP, and you'll click on Preferences, go to Application tab, and you'll click here to activate Parallelize. When you do, you'll have an SSD warning. It'll warn you about doing this on a hard drive. It'll actually make your operation slower, and it can actually damage your hard drive potentially. If you have a rotating disk and you turn this parallelization on, you should only only use parallelization if you have topo and land cover data both on your SSD. And then if you turn this on, if you have Study Server open, you should close Study Server and then reopen in order for this to take effect. So when you go and you run it, you'll notice under initialization that you have parallelization enabled listed here under initialization messages. So that'll tell you that the parallelization is enabled when the Study Server is open. In any tile studies you run 10,000 or more points, it'll be run parallelized. You should see a significant speed improvement. The next item is concurrent TalkBack. So TAP 7.3 and earlier, when you ran a study, it was run as TalkOut, and TalkOut coverage was calculated when you ran that study. TalkBack was calculated as a post-processing step in Mapper. So you had to have all the TalkOut parameters and TalkBack parameters set up if you want to do a TalkBack study when you previously ran this in TAP 7.3 and earlier. Now there's a checklist tab that has been added that tells you which of the TalkOut and TalkBack parameters have been set up. So when you run the study, which one is going to be run, whether it's going to be run TalkOut, TalkBack, or both. When you run the study, you get outputs, both TalkOut and TalkBack outputs in the output files, as well as a new coverage field, which comes in the output file. So if I go back here and close this, look back at this new checklist, this tells you if all of the conditions have been met to run a study, if all of the conditions have been met. So this is all the transmit information for the fixed facility, receive information for the mobile facility. If those have all been met for a TalkOut run, and then for TalkBack, whether all of the transmit mobile facility information is in there that it needs to do TalkBack, as well as the fixed facility receive information. And then when you run the study, you'll get the same TalkOut fields that you've always had, plus some additional ones. Now, I've already run this tile study, loaded it up. You'll notice that there's now a coverage output that tells you where you have TalkOut, just TalkOut, just TalkBack, TalkOut and TalkBack, or no coverage. You'll notice here is default is red for no coverage, yellow TalkBack, blue TalkOut, and then green for TalkOut and TalkBack. Let's move over the area. So you have the same fields you had previously with the addition of coverage. TB field is your TalkBack receive field. TB-FSPC is your TalkBack free space field. TB loss is your TB penetration or TB propagation model loss. TB pen low is your penetration loss if you have surface features included and penetration loss set. And then TB power dBm is the output, or is the receive power for the TalkBack. So all of these options are now, all these additional fields are available in your receive output for TalkBack. So this should greatly facilitate things when you run a study. And note that when you run the study itself, that it takes into account the receive antenna pattern as well as the transmit antenna pattern when you run the study. So you could potentially end up with very different receive results, I should say, on TalkOut and TalkBack, depending on the antenna heights, antenna patterns that you've selected. Another addition has been the receive antenna height for the mobile facility. Previously, you just set the transmitter antenna height, and that was used on both transmit and receive. Now you have a separate receive antenna height to set as well, so you can have a different receive antenna height if you wish. So those are the upgrades to TAP in version 7.4. Look for more upgrades coming in future months. We're very excited about TAP 7.4. You may also notice that there's other upgrades that are sprinkled throughout TAP, which I haven't touched on here because they're too numerous to hit. But please, if you have questions, email support@software.com, hit the F1 button to access online help throughout, or online help, I should say, context-sensitive help within TAP, and then say happy tapping. Have a good one.